concert in the middle of the football game? Yeah, that was fun, right? Yeah, which one? Yeah, which one, right? Yeah. Both at the same time. I wonder if somebody did that, like they watched the two different half times with like one left eye and right eye. You're gonna be cross-eyed for life after that. So last weekend, Seattle and New England opened for Bad Bunny, and it was a beautiful day for America, but maybe not a great day to be a patriot. And there is so much symbolism in that whole presentation because you have Bad Bunny, who's from Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, if you didn't know. It's so crazy. There's like, after this whole debate and people just being furious about a Puerto Rican headlining the Super Bowl, people still do not know that Puerto Rico's in the United States. They don't understand because it's not a state. For Americans, that's unfamiliar territory. But it's not Puerto Rico's fault. Like, do they need better PR? But yeah, like, you know, it's just crazy that people don't know history and that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So like, why the fuck would they not be invited to be part of the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like, the cold facts that nobody really wants to acknowledge is that you cannot accurately tell the story of America without starting with Columbus landing and genociding the Taino people. The Taino people who inhabited the Caribbean islands, one of which is now called Puerto Rico. Not to say that all genocides aren't bad, like they're all bad, but like that one was particularly bad because it was the first in a bunch. The majority of those people were wiped out. Of course, they still have some descendants who are, in fact, living in Puerto Rico. And, you know, after all that happens, is like, you couldn't just give them one fucking halftime show. People were like, no, that's too much. Maybe just a cameo. Like, come on, dude. It's crazy, man. And so when they announced it a few months ago, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be all in Spanish, and people freaked the fuck out because they didn't know that half of America speaks that. And in fact, some of America only speaks that shit. And there was a time when most of America only spoke that shit. But yeah, people were upset. I thought it was like rage bait. I thought like, oh, they're just saying that to piss people off. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, that shit is all in Spanish, dude. That shit. I did not understand a fucking word. And I took Spanish 4, dude. I took AP Spanish and got a 3. Fucking passed that shit. But it wasn't being thrown at my face at like 20 miles an hour. You know what I mean? It's just, that shit was más rápido. You know what I mean? That was very no lentamente. It was very fast Espanol. I talked to even, you know, Spanish speakers from Mexico. They're like, yeah, bro, that shit's fast. I don't know how he did that shit. That shit was fast. But you know, I mean, watching a whole program in Spanish at a rate that I could not process, actually let me just relax and enjoy the music, you know? Because I realize how much I like music that I can't understand a word of it. Because, like, you know, yes, so many great artists write so many great things that inspire us over the years, but like at some point, even your favorite artist is gonna write a lyric that's gonna be like, they could have done better. But if you don't understand them, you're just like, oh, this guy's the f***ing GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, I can't analyze the prose. I'm just like, he hit that note, dude. That's awesome, man. And so, yeah, so it was nice. It was nice watching it. I mean, it was an objectively good performance. As a performer, I was like, bro, I need moves like Bad Bunny, dude. He does like this little thing with his hips, and it's like, it just feels sexual. I can't describe it in any other word. He'll just move his hip like that, and you're like, sex. That's the only thing that comes. Like, if I learned one thing from the Bad Bunny performance, it's that I'm gay. That's what I learned. That's like the old... Or I don't know how you say it in Spanish. I'm gay. And then, of course, people complain, like, it was so sexual. Yeah, the way he moved his hips, so sexual. Like, I'm sorry that we're all gay. You know what I mean? Like, it was so sexual. The kids shouldn't see that. It's like, yeah, maybe the time Janet Jackson's tit fell out. How about that time? Or all the other performances where they're twerking. It's like, dude, you're just picking on him because you can't understand what he's saying, so you're looking at his body too much, you know? And I did. And I did, dude. But it was good. Overall good performance. And it was very symbolic, too. It was very symbolic. And, like started in the fields, the cane fields. It showed the field workers. It showed the bodegas. It showed a lot of the mom and pop shops that exist in Latin. It was a cultural piece, and it was paying homage to Latin communities and indigenous communities who've largely been exploited and oppressed by our Western Empire for centuries at this point, And so it's like, it was nice that like finally on the main stage, the biggest stage in the world, like the most watched event in the whole entire world, that we were able to honor the oppressed indigenous people who've been just kind of brushed over like for hundreds of years. And so it was really, really cool to finally pay tribute to the people who suffer from colonization, and it was just really, really nice that the colonizers let us do that for a day. It was really, really cool, man. It was so cool. I bet they made a lot of money, man. That was it, man. Woo, man. Woo. I can only imagine what those corporations did on Sunday, man, while we were rejoicing in the indigenous tales, but it was symbolic, and you have to admit there's something cool about that. You have to admit that there's something cool about like finally that story gets to be told, and it was also just very symbolic going along with the game. It's like you have the New England Patriots that are owned by Israel, and you have the Seattle Seahawks that are only kind of owned by Israel, and I think that was really. Sorry guys, I did look it up, but. There's a difference, you know what I mean? Like their owner passed the helmet to Bibi Netanyahu. I'm pretty sure that was the losing pass for their game, but yeah. So it was symbolic because then you got the Seahawks and the symbolism. It has some indigenous symbolism to them. I can't name all of the sports teams that have indigenous symbolism, but the Seahawks I'd say are pretty high on the totem pole, and. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a fucking total blowout. Total fucking blowout. Bad Bunny demolished Kid Rock, and... And listen, believe it or not, I'm actually not that political. I can't even say that with a straight face, but... obviously I have opinions, but I never set my brain to the default, this side good, this side bad. In fact, I really do think, the obsession with left versus right really distracts us from the more important things and the evil that people are doing on a higher fucking level, which we're beginning to realize is a big fucking problem. You know what I mean? And so, I don't want to endorse and keep convincing people to buy into this narrative that we have to be fighting over left versus right in some massive ongoing culture war. That said, Bad Bunny won that shit objectively. Yeah. By technicality, it was a win for the left, for sure. Even the Republicans who watched that shit, they left. It's funny, you had all these big Republican commentators and politicians, even the president, commenting on how much they hated the Bad Bunny performance, just showing they were not watching the Kid Rock performance. Here's the thing. I grew up when Kid Rock had his moments. I appreciated that, he had a couple lyrics in his songs, and, I'm an American badass. It kind of slaps, you know what I mean? Maybe not when you're 50-something, but, I don't know. When you're 20s, that shit is fire, But, he comes out wearing jorts, you know what I mean? Half jean, half short, not great legs. I mean, come on, dude. Work on your calves, at least in the leading months coming up to this shit. So he comes out with the jorts, and he's not even performing the shit live. He's literally lip-syncing along to his song, bang, da bang, boogie. He even, stopped for moments while he let the song play. And was in the background, he bong da bong da bang. You're wow, he's not even trying to hide this shit. And then, of course, people saw that, and they're bro just fucking lip-synced his whole thing. People call them hillbilly vanilla and shit like that. Not my joke. That's what they called him. And he fucking just straight lip-synced that shit. And so everybody, rightfully so, called him out bro, that was lip-syncing, dude. That was lip-syncing. So many people said it that he had to take to Twitter And he got on Twitter, he's like, oh, haters gonna say I lip sync, but what they don't know is that I pre-recorded that show myself and then I sang along. Bro, that's the fucking definition of lip sync. What the fuck? Do you not know the definition of lip sync? He's like, I moved my mouth at the same time that I was saying it when I pre-recorded it. So clearly it was a live show because my mouth was live moving. It wasn't emitting noise, but it was which is like, I don't even think that's English either. You know what I mean? Like and then, of course, he did like a slow song for Jesus and stuff, which is like, you know, hey, if you're a Christian, fuck yeah, dude, fucking vibes, you know what I mean? But like everybody else is like, okay, like, it was like a slow dance song with Jesus. It was like too much, bro. It's like, just chill on that. Like, couldn't you have like one romantic song in there? He's like, this is for you, Jesus. Like, all right. Bong da da bong da bang da bang boogie. So yeah, that was weird. And then meanwhile, you got Bad Bunny. It's like, hey, you know, and just you're like, oh man, just like different vibe. And Bad Bunny had some cameos. Ricky Martin was there, dude. Fucking Ricky Martin, man. And I'm a little partial to this because not only did I, you know, was I around when La Vida Loca came out, you know what I mean? I was in high school. That shit was fucking wild, dude. But also, he liked one of my posts a couple weeks ago, so fucking yeah, dude. So I'm living the vida broca, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, Ricky Martin came out. He fucking pounded that shit, dude. That was fire, dude. Lady Gaga came out. I mean, I have different feelings about her, but, you know, they had star power, I guess. It just showed that she couldn't dance. It was just like, I'm sure she dances better than me, but like, don't put her right next to Bad Bunny. Like, we're gonna see how not good at dancing she is. He did the whole thing in Spanish, and I was just like, I was waiting for that. I was like, is it gonna be English in this at all? He was just like, no, you know? Yeah. It was just like bar after bar after bar that I couldn't understand, you know? And Bad Bunny shouted out 24 countries in his performance. 24 countries. Yeah. So people in the United States learned there's more than one America. It was wild too because he kind of did it as a bait and switch because like he's doing the song in Spanish. People were like watching it angry the whole time. Like, when the fuck's he gonna speak English, right? And then he's like, God bless America. And they're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then he's like, Chile. Like, what? People like looking at the map of the United States. They're like, I don't think that's in here as, it is a bit chilly in Michigan, but, he's like, Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Haiti, Jamaica, United States, and Canada. Like, what the fuck? Wait, what? You just said Canada? Is that Spanish for Canada, bro? Like, you could not watch that and, like, not objectively laugh. That was, like, hilarious. That was literally the last word of his performance. He's like, Canada! Like, you know they made him say that. Like, he's like, I'm going to shout out all the American countries. They're like, yeah, don't forget Canada at the end. He's like, oh, man, really? So he's like, fine. And Canada, too, yeah. Goes to show in America, Canada makes a great punchline. You know what I mean? That was like the first English word of the whole show too, you know, because even when he said United States, he like Spanishized it. He's like, United States! And he's like, but Canada! So it was like the first word that a lot of people understood. They're like, oh yeah, I get that, and I don't like it, you know? Canada! Bong da da bong da bang da bang ba da da ba 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 ba. I watch the Super Bowl just for the culture, you know. I don't send my money to them, you know what I mean? Well, you know, I mean, it's a whole, you know, corporate thing, and you know, I mean, it's all going to feed this larger, broader system that is, you know, really ultimately holding us regular folk down out here in Bremerton, you know, and. But it is cool to like objectively just watch it and be like, this is where we are as a people right now. You know what I mean? And it's just fucking crazy that that we are collectively Bad Bunny. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And it's not even the year of the rabbit. Thank you. They call me Bad Funny. Canada. Free Palestine. Free Palestine, man. Free Palestine. The whole list. Free Palestine, free the United States, and free Canada. Thank you guys so much. See ya. I love you guys. Thank you.